Hi everyone, welcome back to our awesome interview. This time we have two special guests, and they are from the Final Fantasy series. That is right, guys. This is Final Fantasy 15, and here today I have Noctis and Prompto. Hi, guys.
Did I get your role? I play Prompto.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you play...
I play Noctis.
You play Saint Noctis. He later becomes Santa Claus. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you guys, I would like to congratulate you guys on this awesome, fantastic role you guys have in a fantastic series, Final Fantasy.
Thanks. I mean, it only comes around once every 10 years or so. That roles like these.
Well, this one at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because I think nowadays being part of the Final Fantasy series is like being part of the of Disney. You know, it's
I think it's exactly the same.
It's exactly
the same.
Disney. If you're part of Kingdom Hearts, for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, that is right.
Both,
Yeah. You didn't get a phone call yet for that? For Kingdom Hearts 19? I'm going to be in it. Yeah.
19.0.
Kingdom
Yeah.
19.8. It's a card game.
This is assuming before 3 comes out. Right?
Yeah. Oh well, 3 will never come out. It's
It's a long extended April Fool's joke that has been going on far too long.
Half-Life 3 will come out before.
Ooh, I'm excited. I heard that was confirmed.
Yeah, Half-Life 3 is confirmed.
Confirmed right here. You heard it first.
Noctis
Confirmed.
and Prompto, confirmed right there. Tell us a little bit about yourselves before we begin and jump into Final Fantasy 15. Tell us about yourselves and how did you begin your careers.
When I was really young, I wanted to be a baseball player, and then I grew up to look like this, and it did not happen.
What was the moment you were like, I don't have any physical ability?
I was really into baseball cards. I was good at that.
Me too.
Not at baseball itself.
I didn't know that.
Whoa.
I have a huge collection at home. My parents just had a garage sale, and and I was like, don't throw away my baseball cards. And they're like,
I went through all my old ones, and I only have the good ones at this point.
Yeah, the 90s were oversaturated. Yeah. Tops. Thanks, Tops.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Then I became a voice actor, and I do commercials and audiobooks and video games and a little bit of animation. And this came out, and I met Robbie through it.
Yeah. And previous to meeting Ray, I was just a regular Midwestern kid, but I did a bunch of theater, and then I started doing professional theater when I was little. I stuck with it. I did like high school sports and stuff like that and all the other things that you do, but then I went to college for theater, then I went to grad school for theater, and then I moved to LA when I was 25 and was just like, okay, no one's going to cast me the way that I look, so I will go do something where it doesn't matter how I look, and then I realized you get to do all the fun stuff. So that's basically how I became a voice actor. As a really dumbed down version of how that happened, but that was it.
There was 9 years of suffering as well.
Yeah, pain and suffering.
I would assume yeah. So with that being said, what was your first role what was your first show you ever voiced?
No, mine's pretty easy, actually. The first legitimate thing I ever did was a pilot for Warner Brothers. It was 2 weeks after I moved to LA.
Wow.
I didn't even have an agent, and it was the biggest thing that I would do for like the next 3 years. And it happened right out of the gate. And I play Tuxedo Mask in Sailor Moon, and I was opposite Stephanie Sheh. And that's how I met her. She plays Sailor Moon, and
and you were the original voice of Tuxedo.
Well, I am the Viz Media dub voice of Tuxedo Mask. So we do the original series, and then Sailor Moon Crystal, and all the movies and all that stuff. But yeah, that was my very first voiceover gig. My not commercial one. Yeah.
Mine was Shar Khan in Magi Labyrinth of Magic.
Oh, Magi!
Yeah. That was. It took a while, and that was my first anime role. And there was another 2 years before I got another one, so I really knocked that one out of the park.
Sharkeisha and Magi, right? Sharkeisha and Magi, got it. Look that up.
What has been your most favorite character you voiced so far?
For sure, it's Noctis. I mean, that was such a long way to one. I've been working on it for so long, and he's such a three-dimensional character that it's just an actor's dream to be able to play so many sides and play through a journey from start to finish of one character.
Right, 10 years of building a personality there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough. I feel like that's like kind of asking like to pick your favorite kid, right?
Yeah.
Because like even if I could narrow it down to two, it'd be like The Good Son, where I'd have one in my hand and then I'd have to just be like, "You're not the favorite." Prompto's up there for sure, just because he's funny and sensitive, and I think if you were to hold up a mirror to like my personality, a funhouse mirror to my personality, that would be the closest to it. And those are always kind of fun when you get to express certain aspects of yourself. You know, if you're playing like, you know, a little gremlin or monster or something, then you never go like, well, that's my favorite role. But, but yeah, Prompto's got to be up there for sure. He's at least on the cliff in one of my hands. Maybe.
Along with Tink from Buttersnake.
Yes, totally. Somebody's Googling that right now going,
Yes.
what is...
Look up Tink and King from Buttersnakes. You are looking at the protagonist and antagonist of the children's Australian series on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Why did we just plug that?
That's what I came here for.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I came here for.
Haha.
So before we jump in directly into Final Fantasy 15, what other video games from the series Final Fantasy were you a part of?
I am part of World of Final Fantasy. I play Edgar Roni Figaro from Final Fantasy VI. And that's it for me. Do you have another one, Robbie?
Oh, well, I do, Ray. I play, oh no. Kurasame. Almost said Dr. Kurahashi. the terminally ill patient doctor from Sword Art, who I also play. No, I play Kurasame from Final Fantasy Type 0. There's a bunch of playable characters in that, and they're all students, and he is basically like their teacher, the guy that like gives them their mission and runs everything, and he's like one of those guest characters that like comes in and kicks a bunch of butt, and then you're like, wow, he's awesome, I wish he was on our team, and then never shows up in the game ever again. Like one shot and, you know, monsters. Yeah, I was so yeah. Two Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you two have at least one Final Fantasy title under your belt other than Final Fantasy 15.
Yes. But, I mean, under your belt, I worked on World of Final Fantasy during Final Fantasy 15's production.
I worked on same for me. I was finishing and you were starting on yours. Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah.
So we're diving into Final Fantasy 15 now, and I think that's why everyone is watching this awesome interview.
They're not here for our hair. That's
No, not at all.
But before I do, I would like to say some history behind Final Fantasy. For those who don't know how Final Fantasy 15 came to be, there were plans for 3 games. Those 3 games were Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy Versus 13, Final Fantasy Agito, if I pronounced that correctly. And they were all announced back in 2006. In the end, though, Final Fantasy 13, as you guys know, went on to be in its own series, with the main protagonist being Lightning. Agito became known as Final Fantasy Type 0, who he was also part of.
Yes.
And then Final Fantasy Versus 13 came to be known as Final Fantasy 15, which is now the game that we're going to talk about. So, with all being that said, how were you involved in Final Fantasy 15? Were you guys involved right in the beginning, right when, you know, before the name change, or how did you guys came to?
No, it was about 2 years ago that they sent out auditions for the English cast. I found out the Japanese cast has been doing it for 6.5 years.
That's when we were working on it already, because we went back and looked about 2 years ago is when you reached out, which means we had already recorded at least the first half of.
It was September 11th, 2014. I just looked it up yesterday. It was the audition. That was when yeah. And then we did callbacks like 10 days after.
Yeah.
And then we started recording in October.
November, December. It's like 2 years and 3 months ago. That's crazy.
Yeah. That was when we first started.
So we were brought in, I think, when all the reins were, or right around the times when all the reins were being changed over, and it was going to become its own, you know, standalone thing, make it to the States, full game, full numbered game. That's when they brought us in, and they said, okay, we need a core English cast. And the auditions went out, and we had callbacks. Did you get called? You got called back for somebody else too, right?
Nope, I just did Noctis. Who else did you get called back for?
Noctis.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, they made the right choice. But yeah, I did. I was called back for Noctis and Prompto.
That's amazing.
But then I started reading Prompto, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this.
This is my guy.
Yeah.
I was starstruck. Keith Farley was the director and the casting director, and I knew him from Mass Effect, and I had sent him a fan letter like years before. asking if he could give lessons.
Would you sign my CDs for me?
He responded saying, I don't do lessons right now, working on stuff, but I'll let you know when I do. And I never heard back from him again until I was in the booth with him and I didn't want to say anything. Like, I'm a big fan of yours.
Does he know to this day? Does he know now?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He was nonplussed. It was like, okay.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, basically.
So that's when we started working on it. When we first started working on it, we just started working on the demo, and we did not know. I guess the fate of the demo would depend whether we would be in the game or not.
That's correct.
It's not unheard of for them to do a demo cast and then recast once the
Right.
game goes.
Which
But-
some are speculating that happened because in the demo when it came out in 2015.
Noctis has a different voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that you? Was that another?
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
A lot of people say, oh, you're so much better than the demo voice. And I go, okay, cool. Thanks.
But there was a redirect.
Oh, yeah. During March of 2015, it was, from fan feedback and from what Tabata-san's feedback, we were thinking
Right.
of do a totally different
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
So I had to re-audition a lot. It was quite hard, but I'm glad I made it through. And I think the new voice suits Noct much better.
The complaints were because the voice was not too fitting with the character. It
Mm-hmm.
was too old, not fitting with the age of character. And I think that was due to the fact, from what I read, an online article, the director Hajime
Tabata-san, yeah.
he had to release the demo under time restrictions, which is why I think he had to make the English voice be the way it was, because it was just too late.
Right, there wasn't enough time to re-record it for the demo.
But then in the update, with the combat update and stuff, you redid all the demo, right?
I redid the entire demo
with the new
later
voice.
on, yeah.
And they were
with
like,
the new
oh,
voice.
it's so much better.
Yeah.
Who's this new guy?
They found replacements for this guy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which is reason number one why versatility is the most important thing in voice acting.
Yeah, absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
It got you to keep your job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how do you feel that you're part of a fantastic series?
Oh, I mean, I'm still reeling from it. It still hasn't really sunk in. I'm playing the game, and I go, wow, I can do a really good impression of the main character. And I forget, oh, wait, no, I did that. It's still weird.
I started playing yesterday, and 2 times while I was playing, my girlfriend was in the other room, and she would go, "What?" And it wasn't me saying anything. It was like my character, like, "Hey, over here," and she'd be like, "What? What's over here?" She doesn't sound like that. She's
So
lovely.
funny.
She doesn't sound like that. Oh yeah, it's totally surreal. I've said this in a bunch of interviews before, but Final Fantasy X was the game that made me not necessarily want to pursue voice acting, but realize that video games were going to be a huge new market. So yeah, and I was
there were opportunities for actors, which had never really
that's
been.
exactly
yeah.
what I mean. Yeah. Because and I was like, oh, look at this long form thing, because I could see like, oh, you could go work a day or two on a video game doing call outs and stuff, but no, this is real work and like deep work and fun emotionally. It's basically an interactive narrative, and I was really interested in that. So Final Fantasy X for me was a huge. I played all the others, but it was a huge crossroads for me. So then now, I guess this would be 15 years later, almost 16.
2001 was
2001. Okay,
FF10,
15 years. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's
Right, because you're now integrated in a series that's begun in the 1980s. So I mean,
Yeah, we're the same age. I'm 29. Final Fantasy is 29. We came out the same year. It's insane. Yeah.
when you're a child, or in your childhood, did you ever picture yourself playing a role in such a great, fantastic series?
Well, but that's when we were kids. There weren't voices until we were older. That's the thing.
Right.
I when I played Final Fantasy, there were no voices. So how would I wouldn't even. I
Well,
couldn't imagine it.
Side note that Final Fantasy X was actually the first one who had actual speaking roles, and the main character being Titus,
Titus is official
Titus.
pronunciation.
It's totally Titus.
who is played by the marvelous James Arnold Taylor, and that infamous laugh of his on the game.
He followed us on Twitter the other day.
He
It
did.
was
That was very
the
nice
most
of
amazing
him.
feeling. Thank you.
He's a
We're
very
big
nice
fans.
man. Yeah.
There's gonna be like fan art about that Titus on the computer following. Already told us about yourself and a little bit of how you began your career. Now tell us about your characters
In Final Fantasy 15?
in Final Fantasy 15. Sorry.
I mean, Noctis he starts out as he comes off as kind of a spoiled brat, but I think it's really just because there's so much pressure put upon him that he knows he's going to be king, and it's really, really hard and takes a huge toll. This is not a fun king like you're king or queen of England and you basically just kind of sign stuff and wave at the crowd. This is you literally using your power to defend the entire city, and it ages you prematurely. It's a really intense role, and so Noctis has to deal with that ever since he was a kid. He's thrust out into the world with a marriage to Luna, and that's how the game begins. And over the course of it, he goes through a lot of trials and tribulations and comes out a changed man.
Excellent. Did you were you looking at notes on your hand? Did you pre-write that? That was.
I was speaking from the heart.
That was on point.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
My character. No, I don't have. He's.
Your character wears a kilt.
Yeah, he does. Well, it looks like it, doesn't it?
It's a kilt, yeah.
No, it's his shirt tied around his waist.
Skirt. Oh, really?
That's what it is.
Yeah, he's not wearing a kilt and tights.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'm going to catch a lot of heat. No, I think our major concern between the director and I and the creators and the writers was to make sure that he didn't come off as one of those reviled, sort of light ruining the mood characters. Because that can happen. I mean, it has happened. I love Final Fantasy. It's happened in Final Fantasy games. And it's something that's sort of one of these Japanese archetypes that if you don't play them right in English, don't come off very well, and
they become annoying.
Yeah, and that was our main goal: is how do we make him funny? Because I had a lot of dialogue. How do we make him funny, but also make him likable and not too annoying? Right. So that's how we approached it. But from a character standpoint, he's just a nice guy who loves his friends and who's a little bit insecure and uses comedy to cover up his insecurities, and I think that's something that a lot of us can relate to.
Talking about you guys recording for your characters in your sessions and whatnot, can you tell us your experience in recording the game?
It was awesome. We had Dan Inoue, the localization director for the game, the movie, the anime. He knew the lore backwards and forwards, and he was there with us every step of the way. So if we ever had a question, he was able to answer it. He was amazing, worked so well with Keith Farley, our vocal director. It was really awesome. It felt like a collaboration.
Did you guys work with Tabata-san?
Tabata-san only worked on the Japanese portion of the game, and so the hierarchies, the localization team works on the English only. So I did not work with him directly, but I have met him a couple of times. He was very tired. He was very tired. I met him at E3, and he was just, oh man, he had done so many presentations that day. He was so wasted.
And to clarify, Dan was an import. Like when he says he was there with us, he lives in Japan, and they flew him over every time we had a chunk of recording sessions, and then he flew back.
It's a luxury that you don't always get with dubbing, for sure.
Oh yeah, a lot of time you're patched in, and it's just not the same having someone on Skype as it is having them in person in the room conversing with the crowd with no delay. Right. But yeah, we had a great director, great localization team. They made it about as easy as I probably told 3 jokes for every one line I recorded. I was productive. But no, the energy in the room was always really, really positive. I feel like it mostly is in our profession in voiceover, but this one in particular, I just had a great time recording it. I looked forward to it. Like, you know, sometimes you go and it's like, okay, I'm going to go record a Wendy's commercial, and it's like, okay, it's fun, or whatever, it's a paycheck, it's a day at work. But this, I was like, yes.
And we got to find out what happens, too. Every day it was like, what's going to happen?
I still understand the story. Of course, no spoilers. I still understand, I understand the arc, but not really.
There's so many.
As I'm playing, I'm like, oh, I didn't get that. This was
there's so much we don't know.
Our dialogue portion, and not everything. Obviously, if you know anything about like film and narrative, not everything's told through dialogue. A lot of it's visual.
And I kept asking. I remember during
they wouldn't really tell us. Yeah.
When we were recording pickups, or they would, but you would forget. I kept asking, "Who's Monica?" Everyone would be talking about who's Monica. We finally met her.
I still have no idea who Monica is.
She's in the. She's towards the beginning, and I was like,
"Oh, yes, and yes, okay,
yeah."
I know who Monica is now. That's right. I just met her.
Yeah. She introduces you right before core.
Because it's such like it's like she's like your. she's like
lady
at the office in accounting. You know?
Yeah.
You gotta go see Monica.
Yeah.
Like, for what?
For what? Who's that? that? So there's still so many gray areas that we're just fleshing out this week.
Yeah, but we were given our job, which is to play the moments and act it.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we had a really good team on the other side of the glass guiding us.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, where was the Final Fantasy game recorded?
This is recording at Rocket Sound, which has multiple locations in the city. Sometimes we had to record all the way in Marina del Rey, which was a bummer for everyone except for Robbie, who lived in Culver City at the time.
Yeah, but we only did that for like a couple weeks, and then it moved into Burbank.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was great. And then everyone was really happy.
Except for me.
I know the movie, the Final Fantasy 15 movie was recorded at Bang Jump Entertainment.
That's correct.
That is correct.
A studio I am quite familiar with.
Oh, cool. So are we. We record there all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
work there all the time.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are fantastic. Have you guys played the game yet?
Yes, just yesterday. We both finally got
Yeah.
time to sit down and play it. Yeah.
Maybe like 5 hours in.
Yeah. I'm just doing side quests.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've just been doing monster hunts and side
It's
quests.
too
I just
much
got
fun.
to chapter 2, though I did kind of just crush through all of like the story enemies.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
all like 3 and 4s, and I'm like,
You're like, oh,
10, 11.
come on.
So I've been out there monster hunting for 5
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
But that's the way I've always played Final Fantasy. I think.
Yeah.
I've always been a side quest first kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this one has really rewarding ones, too. They're fun to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to do in this world. I mean, the world is vast and huge. I mean, there's a lot of things to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for pickups, though, in open world RPGs.
Oh, like Red Dead
If
when-
I see like a flower like 500 yards
Yeah.
away, I'm like, all right, gotta go get
So your
that flower.
your food must be amazing. Ignis actually has the ingredients.
I feel like Ignis every 10 minutes in the name goes, I've got it!
new recipe.
I've got it! It's so boisterous, I'm always like, oh, what? And it's like, eggs in ham! It's really exciting.
I think his voice stands out more than the rest, because of that.
Oh, yeah, he's got a great voice.
Yeah.
Adam's a great guy.
What part of the game is your favorite so far that you played? Warning, spoilers.
From what we played, we're still hanging around in lead and just hanging around doing stuff.
Have you played any dungeons yet?
I did. I played the first
Dungeon.
Yeah.
I think maybe that was my favorite.
I couldn't believe. I was amazed at how much fun it was to do a dungeon because the design made sense. You were like, "Oh, this is a real place that they designed." Like I play a lot of Fallout, and it's based on real buildings. It's based on actual things happening. Final Fantasy games, the dungeons never made sense. Why would you build a castle that had all these intricate labyrinths that didn't make sense? This one was like, "Oh, this is people lived here and they had a generator to power up." It was so interesting. Exploring and feeling like it was organic for the first time in a Final Fantasy game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I had my first moment of I had an exciting moment of ooh, I gotta come back to that. I found a dungeon. Clearly, it's like a little mini dungeon off somewhere where I shouldn't be, but it wouldn't allow me to enter. I got like the rainbow halo, and it gave me the option to like duck in and go in, but I couldn't. So I was like, all right. I gotta come back and do that.
There's
Awesome.
so much exciting stuff.
I gotta remember where that was.
And you know what's also cool is if you in previous games you'd get a cool weapon and it would just do more damage. But in this, I got that auto crossbow. Now, did you get that? Your first machine
Where did you get it?
is in that. It's in that first dungeon, like almost towards the boss at the end.
No,
You
I
haven't
gotta
cleared
go.
it yet.
I gotta go back.
But you get weapons that do different things. The auto crossbow is like a machine gun, and so suddenly gameplay is different because you got a new item. That's never happened before in a Final Fantasy
Right,
game.
it's always escalated to a powerful weapon. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or it doesn't, or you
Or like elemental
Oh, and
damage.
upgrade.
Yeah, upgrades. That's all it is. This one, it's actually changes the gameplay. So there's I want to explore every single dungeon. Yeah. I got 100% this game. That's my goal.
On everything, story, mission.
I got stuff to do.
Not over Christmas break?
I got stuff to do.
Really? That's all I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
I'm traveling. I'm not gonna bring my PS4 with me. Come on. I can't do it.
Noob.
This is my PS4 backpack. Mom, do you have an HDMI cable? Actually, I'm probably gonna do that.
You have to show. I can't wait to show my parents the game.
Oh, good point.
That's why I'm bringing it home. Yeah. Because I've been explaining it to them in the abstract, and they kind of get it, but I don't think they really understand what a video game is yet.
It's more like
They think it's still Pac-Man, I think.
Yeah.
Tetris.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
little ping pong thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Justice Monsters.
Just Monsters 5.
I don't get it.
It's hard. It's hard. But you do get good rewards for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, out of curiosity, this is going back to what we talked about the Final Fantasy 15 universe, the movie, the game, the anime series. Out of curiosity, why weren't your voices featured in Final Fantasy 15, the anime series?
That was us. We were just talking Japanese.
Yeah.
It's official. We don't know why, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think there's any plans for us to dub it. Do you know anything?
Yeah, it was just a piece of content that was, I don't know.
Yeah,
we
we'd be
have no
happy
idea.
to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
I was expecting, I got the DVD, the Final Fantasy Brotherhood DVD, and I was expecting there to be an English track, and I was like, kind of surprised.
Yeah.
It feels like time. It feels like time to me.
Yeah, it feels like, again, time restrictions again.
But I don't know if I wouldn't want to speak for it. But the release is out. I would be surprised if they did one. Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
So, time for fan questions. Yes, we do have the time for this.
Fan questions.
Here we go. Lightning fast questions, actually.
Yep.
Did you play the Platinum Devil? If so, what did you name your barnacle? If not, what would you name your barnacle?
Carbuncle?
Oh, Carbuncle. Yeah.
Carbuncle, sorry.
It's I named my carbuncle Keith Farley because he helped me on my journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did play the demo. I thought it was great. It reminded me a lot of Kingdom Hearts, and I think I named my carbuncle some kind of pun about his terrible pimple thing. I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of gross pun. Yeah.
During the 10 years it took to make Final Fantasy 15, how many hours did you guys put in?
Ooh, that's hard to say.
I couldn't even.
Oh, how many sessions? 30, 40?
There were about 40 sessions. Well,
40?
but even now with DLC, I don't know.
Even more, yeah. Let's say 40 sessions at 4 hours a session.
Yeah.
We're bad at
Some
math.
were 6 hours, yeah.
Yeah, some were 6.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Now, you mentioned Kingdom Hearts, the series. What are your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts?
I love Kingdom Hearts. I love Shimomura's music. I think is the star of those games. And really, really excited for her to do Final Fantasy 15 as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite series from back in the day. I've got a lot of fond memories of it. Come on, what's not to love about it? Disney and Square?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Match made in heaven.
Huge combination. Great combination.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have a birthday shout-out from Noctis and Prompto?
Yeah.
My name is Sobe.
Sobe. Hey, Sobe, just want to say happy birthday from your friends, Noctis.
And Prompto! Happy birthday, Sobe!
So, you guys, unfortunately, we ran out of time. Again, this is a really time-constricted interview, as it was Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, we have a signing to do right after
Yes,
this.
they have a signing to you in Burbank at...
Mag Game Realms. They're cool guys.
Visit them if you can.
Yeah, they have live demonstrations. They have every single... Okay.
And we have 4 minutes.
Yeah, we have 4 minutes. Okay.
But again, before you guys go, I'd like to congratulate you both on this phenomenal performance you guys did on Final Fantasy 15. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that game
Thank
as well.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Definitely. I mean, this game has been one of the most anticipated games of 2016, aside from Half-Life 3.
Yeah, right.
Confirmed.
So, I mean, did you guys know that this game sold over 5 million copies?
Yeah.
globally?
Yeah,
In
that
one
was
day?
crazy,
I mean,
yeah.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
I think that surpasses any record of Final Fantasy 15.
Well, 7 sold 10 million over the course of 20 years.
Right.
So we'll see
So,
what
see
we
if it
do.
surpasses that.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
see you guys later. Till next time.
Hey, before we go, we just wanted to say that you might have a chance to win a signed print by us. Just subscribe to Kitsune Network, put your name in the comments below, and you might be the lucky winner to defend EOS. Thanks for watching, guys.